Picture two schoolyard rivals who avoid fighting directly, instead using others to do their dirty work. This is the essence of a proxy war, powerful nations fighting indirectly by supporting smaller groups or countries. Direct conflict between superpowers, especially nuclear-armed ones, is too risky. Proxy wars let them compete, test weapons, and pursue goals without direct confrontation. The support comes as money, weapons, intelligence, and training, turning local conflicts into global battlegrounds. The patron gains influence and weakens rivals at low risk. The proxy gets resources to fight its own battles. But this partnership is rarely equal. Superpowers' interests often overshadow those of their proxies. The real cost is paid by people on the ground, who suffer the consequences of these distant power plays. Proxy wars are about control and influence, not just ideology or defense, and the aftermath can haunt nations long after the superpowers move on. The Cold War was defined by proxy wars, as the US and Soviet Union avoided direct conflict. In Korea, the Soviets and China backed the North, while the US supported the South, turning a civil war into a global showdown. Vietnam saw a similar pattern. North Vietnam, aided by the Soviets and China, fought US-backed South Vietnam. These wars devastated local populations, with millions killed and countries left in ruins. In Afghanistan, the US armed the Mujahideen to bleed the Soviets, supplying weapons like Stinger missiles. The Soviets withdrew, but Afghanistan was left in chaos, with radical groups rising from the ashes. Proxy wars achieved superpower goals but left lasting instability and suffering. The aftermath often proved more dangerous than the original conflict. Proxy warfare's legacy is a world shaped by unresolved violence and unintended consequences. Proxy wars didn't end with the Cold War, they just evolved. Today, conflicts like Syria's civil war involve a tangled web of outside powers backing different sides. Russia and Iran support Assad. The US, Turkey, and others back various rebels, turning Syria into a proxy battlefield. Ukraine is now the most prominent example. The West arms and funds Ukraine to resist Russia, avoiding direct NATO-Russia war. Billions in aid and advanced weapons flow in, making Ukraine a front line in a global rivalry. For Russia, it's about influence. For the West, it's about containing aggression, while Ukrainians pay the highest price. In Yemen, Saudi Arabia and Iran fuel a devastating war through their proxies, creating a humanitarian disaster. Modern proxy wars are complex, deadly, and rarely offer quick solutions. The suffering of civilians remains a constant, no matter the era. Superpowers choose proxy wars to avoid direct catastrophic conflict, especially in a nuclear world. It's cheaper and less politically risky than sending their own troops. Supporting proxies allows for plausible deniability and avoids international backlash. If things go wrong, the patron can distance itself from the mess. Proxy wars also let nations test weapons and tactics in real conflicts. These indirect battles are a way to compete, learn, and influence without risking all-out war. But the costs are often hidden, and the damage is lasting. For superpowers, proxy wars are strategic. For the battleground nations, they're devastating. Outside support prolongs conflicts, destroys societies, and leaves deep scars. Weapons and fighters remain after the patrons leave, fueling new cycles of violence. Afghanistan's Mujahideen became the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, proof that today's proxies can become tomorrow's threats. Proxy wars erode international norms, making violence seem like the default solution. As global rivalries intensify, proxy conflicts are likely to grow, spreading instability. Understanding these hidden wars is crucial to demanding accountability and seeking peace. Behind every proxy war are real people paying the ultimate price for someone else's game.